The Houston Rockets have had a fantastic season, and you cannot just call it luck the way that they ended the season as a 2 seed in a very competitive West where many teams didn't even know what their seeding would be until the final day of the season, battling for a play-in or play-in spot. The Rockets secured the number 2 seed and rested their starters going into the playoffs. Now, many people have concerns about this team, whether it's how young they are, whether if they don't have a superstar player or not. Let's go through all the concerns, and now that we officially know that they're going to be taking the Warriors in the first series, let's look at that matchup, and let me explain to you why I believe the Rockets are being overly disrespected this year in the playoffs. Now, before we get started, I'm not trying to push some Rockets agenda to you guys. Look, I'm not a Rockets fan. I just believe looking across people's predictions and ways that people are talking about these playoffs, almost everyone is just pushing the Rockets aside, right? I understand. The Warriors are a very, very good team. With their Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry pace, I mean, they're a 60-win plus team. And I'm not saying that the Rockets necessarily are going to go out there and destroy the Warriors. I'm saying they have a chance, which in the NBA world right now seems like a hot take. I think people are pushing this Rockets team off way too easily. And I was hearing people say that no matter who it was between the Grizzlies or the Warriors, they could beat the Rockets. I mean, I'll say it, I don't think the Grizzlies would beat the Rockets team. People are disrespecting this Rockets team too much. Now let's look at this. Everyone was saying, oh, how competitive the West is this year. Everyone was praising OKC, which makes sense. They had the best record in the league. But the Rockets secured the number 2 seed in a competitive West at 52-30, right? They had a record of 23-19 against teams that finished at 500 or better, which, a positive record, not the greatest, but pretty decent overall, especially compared to how competitive that West is this year. And they were 8-5 in games that were decided by 3 points or less. So they can win when it's clutch time and when they need to win. We all know what the narrative is for why the Rockets are going to lose. It's the playoff inexperience, right? It seems like, I think if you pick apart every single team, this is probably the team with the least amount of experience in the playoffs. And also, they don't really have that superstar level guy. But comparing this to other teams that we can look at across the league, they are the highest tier of that team without a superstar. When we look at most of the teams in the West, they have at least 1 or 2 stars that they can go to. When we look at teams in the East, there are many teams that have a lot of great players built together, but maybe not a superstar level player. But this team has been very, very good all across the board this year. And let's not act like this team is a bunch of 19, 20, 21-year-old kids that just came out of college, right? There are leaders on this team, guys like Steven Adams, guys like Dylan Brooks, guys like Fred VanVleet, who have set the tone for these Rockets, these younger players as well. And this team also does have some great players as well. When we look at the big 3 of young players that are playing fantastic this year, guys like Jalen Green, Amen Thompson, and Alperen Sengun, both guys that I covered on this channel before. I told you guys before, I know a lot of people after Amen's rookie season maybe were like, oh, this guy isn't that great. But this season, Amen Thompson, he has gone out there and had some fantastic games. He's put up clutch shots, some game winners as well earlier this season, and one of the best defenders in the league. Amen Thompson, a guy that was doubted for a long time because of the way he came up through OTE. He is a fantastic player. Another guy in Sengun. I said before this season, he was my prediction to put up MVP type numbers. And if we look at it, he's not going to end up in that MVP voting, but he's a guy that, if we're talking about the most valuable player in the league, this guy, his scoring was a little bit down at 19 points per game, but almost 50% from the field, 19 points per game, and 10.3 rebounds, almost 5 assists, over a steal a game, and almost a block a game. Like, this is a guy that is so good. And I think people are underrating him a little bit. Yes, his scoring was down, like I said, but this whole team was eating this year. When we look across the board, guys like Jalen Green, who have been in a very weird spot the past few years, and I myself will admit, Jalen Green is a guy that I'm not really sure if I would believe in before this, but this season, he has proven me and many others wrong. I mean, he's a guy that has continued to develop. He was at a point where it seemed like he was plateauing. Many people weren't really sure what was going to happen with this Rockets team, but this season, he has been fantastic as well, putting up 21 points per game, and he has been that leading scorer. But the main thing that I look at when I look at this Rockets team, statistically, if we're looking at this, right, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. 7 guys in double digits. When we're talking about Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson, Fred VanVleet, Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green. How many teams out there have that many guys that can get you double-digit buckets in a night? I'll wait for an answer, but if you can think of one, let me know. Maybe outside of these elite teams like OKC, but that's an elite team as well. That's the one thing that I think has been very underrated for this team. This team is also the best rebounding team in the NBA, which is obviously a massive advantage, especially in the playoffs, right? There are a lot of times where we see a lot of teams start to put up some shots. Shots don't hit as well maybe as they would in the regular season, but a guy like Alperen Sengun is just always there to get a rebound. He is just always under the hoop. Amen Thompson getting 14.1 points per game per night and putting up 8 rebounds as well with almost 4 assists, and they just have a fantastic defense as well. When we look at their guards, Fred VanVleet over a steal and a half per game. Amen Thompson can guard almost anyone in the league I feel comfortable with. I mean, apart from maybe Nikola Jokic, but who's going to guard Jokic? I think Amen Thompson can go up against almost anyone, especially in the West. I don't think there's anyone outside of maybe Jokic that I wouldn't be comfortable, especially on this team, the Warriors team. I think that he could guard almost anyone in that position, 1 through 5. He has the height, he has the length, he has the reach, he has whatever you need to do. This team has just been fantastic across the board. And I'm not saying that this Rockets team is going to go out there, like I said before, and destroy this Warriors team or anything like that. Do I think this Warriors team can win? Yes, I'm with the people here. I do think this Warriors team has a chance, but the main thing I'm trying to get across is that this Rockets team has been far too disrespected right now. The amount of people that are completely writing them off, saying they're done in 4 or 5 games, it's not even going to be close. Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler just going to run right through them, is absolutely insane to me. Yes, they have that championship pedigree, and yes, the Rockets maybe don't have that playoff experience, but to say that this Rockets team is not going to be competitive is just absolutely insane to me. Do I think that they could go and win this first round? Yeah, I really don't see why not. I think they could go on, who knows, maybe they could even make the Western Conference Finals. This team is a very complete team. We'll have to see what happens. I could be completely wrong, and the Warriors could just run through them in 4 or 5 games. And I would be surprised. I do think this Warriors team can win, like I said, but to say that this Rockets team is just a pushover, I think is completely disrespectful to this season and what this team has done and proven. It's not like this team is unproven. I know, like I said, no playoff experience, but during this regular season, which we have to talk about because it is just this season, what is going to happen in the playoffs could be completely different, but so far this team has proven that they are capable of getting it done in almost every single area of the basketball game. So let me know down below what you guys think. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, like I said. It seems like this is a little bit of a hot take, but let me know down below who you guys think is going to win this series. And I'll see you in the next one.